There are 5 players left in the DreamHack Winter Hearthstone Grand Prix, and we are going to knock out the 5th player to bring you your top 4. Lorinda and I will be bringing you this next game between Tyler and Burro. Lorinda,
yes.
What do we know about Tyler?
Tyler, obviously, for those who don't know, is a grinder originally. Just going down ladder after ladder after ladder, switched to tournaments late last year, got in some great positions, blew them a few times because he was quite nervous, which is weird for a guy who streams 16 hours a day to a large audience. And we've just seen him get better and better in front of the camera, further and further progress. He's qualified for the World Championships, and he's in that group of people, which is pretty much all that's left in this tournament now, of people who haven't got a win, who are going to get one.
Let's take a look at the people left in this tournament now, as there's 5 players left. Tyler and Burro coming up next, but just for those of you that missed the first 3 quarter-final games, Boston, Paradub and Fayeli have already booked their spots in the semi-finals. So Tyler versus Burro. Now, I don't know much about Burro at all.
So Burro, he plays for Royal Blue GG,
okay,
along with Kamal, who you might know, and Chabo Dennis, who's a regular in these tournaments too.
Yep.
He's basically a semi-pro. Which in that parlance, he's a very strong player, but has real life. And he's been saying that he feels he has to practice a lot more than the other pros just to keep up and make it level playing field. He feels he's done that. He feels he's worked so hard for this event because he can only get to a few events a year because real life and money and things are real. And he feels he's done so much more work than the top players, and they work hard, those guys.
That's really great to hear that.
But he's going to have a really good tournament. The problem is, he's running into Tyler. You can't actually physically do more work than Tyler. It's not possible.
He is just a grinder.
And also, Burro's, his big thing is he thinks that Quest Rogue should be nerfed again.
Again?
He's playing it and he's in the top 8, so...
How many times can you nerf a single card or deck?
I mean, you can just keep going until it stops being played, but I think they've done that and it's still being played, so... That's what he says about it, and it's got him this far in the tournament, so he's not working from a biased point of view that he's lost to it. It's actually been carrying him through every round.
So, very different levels of experience amongst these 2 players. Burro has been working hard, which is great to see, but has he been here before? Has he been in the top 8 of a DreamHack tournament or a tour stop?
I think he's very happy to be in this top 8. He's been around, he's played tournaments. I don't know his record. I didn't actually look it up because I'd spoken to him. I didn't bother doing the whole full boring stats thing. But he's been around for a while, and Kamal and Chabo Dennis have definitely made their mark on the scene in various tournaments as well. So he's in good company here, and I think he will be fine. But again, we haven't seen him on stream basically at all. I think he may have been on one of the early rounds. So how he responds, you never know how you're going to respond yourself until you sit there.
Those noise-cancelling headphones, a lot of pressure being on stream.
Having spoken to him, I think he's got the right attitude. I think even if he is nervous, he'll be able to at least contain that.
Let's take a look, though, at the players' deck lists. Lorinda, I believe you hopefully have the archetypes in front of you.
No, I sat in the green room doing absolutely no. I've got the archetype. Tyler has the Hunter deck. It's just Hunter now, right? I don't think there is a second Hunter anymore.
That's true,
it's just Death Rattle Hunter. Maligos, he's got the Shaman, the Shadowwalk, obviously, and Evenlock. Burro has got the Quest Rogue, of which he believes should be nerfed.
He does not have the Quest Rogue, actually. It's
this is why it's so good, right? It's already drawn the ban. He has his own Hunter, he has his own Maligos, and he has the Even Paladin, which looks like a decent choice here.
Yeah, I mean, even Paladin, again, it's so consistently in the top 8 of DreamHack Winter. I think we've seen it every single series so far today, which is incredible.
And it was big in Atlanta too. I couldn't tell you how big, but it was definitely in there a lot at the end.
Yeah. Death Rattle, Hunter, well, just Hunter from Tyler banned out. Burro's had Burr Zero, as I've been clarified. It's actually Burr Zero.
Burr Zero? Yeah. Okay.
Burr Zero has had his Quest Rogues. I'm going to scribble down some notes there about the name.
Yeah, so I get it right at least half the time now.
Right, well, it's time to find out what you guys back home think. Fan favorite, I called Tyler the fan favorite last time, and it turned out I was wrong. We've got fan favorite, I think, Tyler up against Burro.
Oops.
Hashtag Tyler, hashtag Burro. I don't think those numbers are correct. We haven't even done the vote yet. This is me saying
his mum can vote for him, surely.
So, Burr Zero. If you're voting for Burr, make sure that's Burr Zero, not an O at the end. But Lorinda, I think I'm going to know the answer to this question.
Min, if you're watching, just turn off for a moment. I think Burr Zero's lineup works a little bit better against Tyler here, and I think if he's putting the work for this event, then if he is nervous, he will still have the mechanics to see it through, and I think that Tyler won't win this. Vin, you can turn back on. Everything's fine. Tyler's wonderful.
Okay, so Lorinda believes
I'm in so much trouble on Twitter right
Burr is going to win this series. I'm going to balance this out. I'm going to say Tyler. There are very few players in Hearthstone that I would pick over Tyler.
I would love to see Tyler win. Let's just clarify that before the hate mail comes
flooding in. That's not who you want
in.
to win. That's
I've actually gone for this time who I think will win. I would love to see Tyler win. I'd love to see, actually, whoever's left in this tournament, if they win it all, I'm fine. But I think Burr Zero is going to win this.
All right, well, that is a very balanced view of what's coming up. Let's take a look at what you guys back home think the votes are in. And I can now reveal that the winner is Tyler, 61%. I thought it would be
more. Of course, Zero's hard to spell.
Because a lot of people voting for Burr will have put an O.
Exactly.
Or a capital O.
Yeah.
Not the number.
Or they'd have just messed it up and like typed Zorro or something. Because it is Twitch chat after all.
But there you go. Tyler is clearly the fan favourite to win. Nice little handshake. Always good to see that on screen. I enjoyed at the end of the last series as well, seeing Fairley and Dorito having that chat after the game. They stood there having a long talk about everything they've just done. Again, the players are friends with each other. They're doing the same thing. You know, they're all in the same boat. They've got a lot in common. Yeah,
this is something that might be hard for Burr, actually, is playing against a player like Tyler, where you've got so much respect for them. You've still got to beat them. You can't just let your hero, well, I don't know if it is his hero, but you can't let the famous guy walk all over you just because you respect them. You've got to actually try and beat them. Let's get into game number one and have a look what's going down here.
Even Warlock for Tyler versus Malygos Druid for Burr.
Okay, so seen this matchup rather a lot. It's pretty close, I'd say. Don't really want to have a fight about who wins, but it's all about naturalizers, wild growths, and twigs, really.
Yeah, that seems accurate. And were you just reading his hand?
Yes, basically. It's not quite what I was going to say, but obviously the Giants' naturalized interaction is one we talk about to death. If they get a Giant, you don't get a naturalized, you probably lose. If you do get the naturalized, you probably win. It's not quite that trivial, but it's a big part of the matchup in terms of explaining it in simple terms. But with the wild growth backups, as long as Burr draws something to do, which Druid is very good at doing, there you go, that's something to do later, you can just take over the game.
It's really just card draw that Burr is missing at the moment. In the form of Nourish or Ultimate Infestation, or Branching Paths, or Ferocious Howl.
And that's the reason why I always say that Druid has so much it can do, because you just named 6 cards out of the 22 or whatever it is that are left.
He just needs any one of these 6 cards, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. But still, Twig on 4 seems just fine. I expect that Tyler is running an Ooze in this even Warlock deck because, 2 copies of Ooze, in fact. It's not very often that Druid gets away with breaking this weapon in this matchup.
It's not, but it will interfere with Tyler's plan when he has to break it on that sort of later turn. So it's, I always say that even though it's a win because you've got the Ooze, even against like Skull, where it's the biggest win in the world, you still have to waste most of your turn playing an Ooze because it messes with your mana curve so badly. But obviously it's better than not having it. I like this one, Burr. You'll have heard me say this a million times, this tournament, because these, the semi-pro guys, if you like, are getting much better at this, but taking his time, settling in, knows exactly what play he's going to make there from 2 seconds after seeing the card, but just making sure he feels comfortable.
One naturalized, 2 Giants dealt with.
Wow, that's one heck of a naturalize.
Just going back to that for a second, though, you're right. The more I think about it, in the past, we used to say a lot, oh, this player, he's fairly new to competing at the top level, but he's taking it nice and slow. That's a really good sign. But I feel like almost all of the players are doing that now.
Yeah.
They've all learned.
They've all listened to me.
Yeah.
And that old guy knows what he's doing. Exactly. And none of them have ever won. So you can see the signs of nerves. Burr definitely is uncomfortable. It's sort of what I expect. He's uncomfortable, but in a controlled way.
Yep.
Whereas Tyler, this is the difference over the years with Tyler as he's trying to work out what on earth to do here. He's just so comfortable on screen now. Tyler's
been through a lot of evolution himself.
He really has. He was surprisingly nervous when he first started playing.
I always joke about how Tyler's just a grinder, but it's a great meme, but he's not. Tyler is a very serious competitive Hearthstone player
Yes.
with a well-deserved spot at the World Championships this year, next year.
But also I feel that in his case, the grinder is actually complementary because it's a good way of describing how he got here. His work ethic is, I've said it before, I'll say it again, it's second to none. He just works harder than anyone else in the business, or as hard as the best people in the business. There's one or two others up there with him, like Sayan, I think works incredibly hard. But he just doesn't stop. You know, he uses everything he can to get his stream going. The reason he's a big streamer originally wasn't because of, hey, look at this amazing new streamer. It's because he made everyone realise he was amazing by streaming 16 hours a day every day until people watched.
Right.
And when you watch, you go, this guy's amazing, I'm going to keep watching. And he has forced himself into this industry by being good at the game but working incredibly hard. But currently, Burr, as long as his hand progresses in the way that it should, in a really good spot here. Not having to worry about that second giant is a big deal. Quite happy to take his time on the damage front. If it wasn't for the twig, he probably wouldn't have attacked anything at all.
But Tyler just really struggling here, trying to work out whether he wants to use that coin or not. Coin on turn 5 is very awkward because it means that on turn 7 he won't have anything significant to do.
And there's the Hellfire. The Malfurion turn is usually make spiders get Hellfired.
Right.
But you make them anyway to make them waste their Hellfire turn. Like you use 5 mana Hellfiring, that's fine by me, done nothing in progression. But having them actually survive, because they clear the board. If you get Hellfired, then it clears the board anyway, right? So it's fine.
Yep.
But having them actually survive is somewhat of a surprise here for Burr.
It is. I mean, Tyler has just given Burr this 4/4 and Homunculus on a golden platter, saying, yep, spiders can trade into these. I don't care too much. So I wonder what that means Burr is going to do. Is he going to try and preserve the spiders? Maybe gain some armor, use the Spellstone to deal with one of these 4/4s?
Drawing this Spellstone is really making him think about that. And he's going to go for the armor to power it up.
Now he can,
he's not sure.
Because he can gain the armor, Spellstone the 4/4, hero power down the Homunculus, and then just trade one spider in whilst leaving the other one alive.
Yeah, keeps himself a spider, but in the end deciding that he'd rather start getting through his deck because his hand's a little bit precarious. If he gets 1 or 2 more whiffs, bad things are going to happen. Definitely worthy of consideration, but I think he thinks he's significantly in front here, wants to have no accident, get to that UI and win the game. Making extensive notes there. He's actually writing himself a message there. It'll be something like, you know, try to win this game this way. Because he's used that branching path. That does change your things very slightly, your conditions very slightly. It didn't look like it was just one word of a card note. There you go. That's how you play Hearthstone, kid.
Okay. So he can go Innovate, Ultimate Infestation on the Skulking Geist. Then he can break the Twig against the Geist if he wants another 10 mana this turn. Whilst playing both Tyrants.
Yeah, I think he's going to preserve that, but he won't mess around too long. Maybe he won't, because with the double ooze in Tyler's deck, maybe he'll just take what's there while it's there.
He could go Tyrant, break the Twig, and play a second Ultimate Infestation this turn.
He is looking at that super seriously.
I don't think I've ever seen this before.
I don't think I have either. And he'll only overdraw 1 card over the whole lot. He will, though, because I don't think...
What is happening?
He's only playing 1 Innovate. Because he's not drawn Malygos, he will overdraw 1 card, right, if he breaks a Twig and UIs again.
Yeah, but he puts Tyler down to 10.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of stuff on a big board.
Oh, no, I'm so disappointed.
I am too, but also, as the adage goes, if you think you're being too cute and you're not sure, don't go for the cute play.
What I will say
I would have liked to have seen him do it there because of the prospects of double ooze.
Exactly, double ooze, that's the thing. Tyler has another chance to draw them. He can tap this turn.
That being said, would Tyler have oozed last turn? Probably not, because he would have put him onto UI, but maybe Tyler would have oozed last turn anyway. Maybe he's got some sort of read there. I think Tyler wouldn't have, but maybe he would.
I don't think he would have done, for the very reason that you said. Like, Burro was going to be on 9 mana. If not for the Innovate, he wouldn't have been able to play Ultimate Infestation that turn. That play would have gone down in Hearthstone history, Lorinda.
Hearthstone history. It's going down Hearthstone history one way or the other, just in a different way. Yeah, he only has the one innovate, so there would have been the one overdraw. And going back the other way, maybe he just thinks this is very hard to lose. I mean, if he loses in Malygos, that is a route to defeat that could occur.
True.
That's how I see it. And again, with the rope burning and the ooze punish.
That's true. If he was that desperate about not burning cards, he could have played a Moonfire after the Ultimate Infestation.
Yeah, that's fair. I think he wanted to do it and had seen the play and thought it was right.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing about, well, I'm not 100%, and this play just isn't very wrong.
Yeah.
The other one might be wrong if I burn my Malygos for something I haven't calculated. This is fine.
I agree with you.
You love me saying this
and
rubbish
I think
thing.
I agree with him.
I think actually he should have gone for it. I just feel that...
Well, now I definitely agree with you.
In the time that there was available, he couldn't necessarily commit to the play.
Yeah. Would have taken a lot of thinking. Not much time to think about that. Tyler picks up his second ooze. Doesn't matter anymore, but again, it's just the power of Even Warlock, the consistency of Even Warlock, even to the point of running 2 copies of the tech card.
Yeah, you can kind of do what you like with, I don't know, 20 of the cards in the deck. You don't. It's sort of evened out to pretty much the same everywhere, but a lot of the cards don't really matter that much. Like Dread Infernal just goes in and out of the deck all over the place, depending on your experiences with your Guldans and how much you think that demon really matters. You see Bone Mare come and go as well. And Tyler has just given the world's easiest swipe to Burro. I don't know if that's his problem here, but it looks like it might be. Is there something even more obvious that I'm missing?
Well, he's filled up his hand.
Oh, he's filled up his hand and he hasn't got Gul'dan.
He tapped and he coined...
Yeah, he's just tapped. Yeah, that's the problem.
He's just done the classic... Almost as bad as tapping with 10 cards in your hand. He's tapped with 9 and left himself with 10. After, I think he forgot that the Lich King was going to proc. It must just be that.
Yeah. Nice to see Tyler reacting a little bit in an amusing way for the... I think the entertainment of this tournament from the players has been top-notch. It's something I know you have been critical of players for a little tiny bit in times before.
In the past, yeah,
but being a little bit too boring. The top 8 day is different. We don't expect it on top 8 day, but...
I saw your tweet this morning about that very thing, and I completely agree. The players have definitely put on a show for us.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't become clowns or walking idiots. They've just made it more enjoyable with occasional hand gestures and occasional glances at the camera. They haven't gone over the top. It's just been right for me.
Yeah.
Made it a lot more memorable. I remember those funny moments more when a player has backed it up with a bit of a wink at the camera or whatever we've been seeing. Quite a lot of it. It's been great. Well, there is the Malygos. So all those fears have gone, but he's facing 2 7/7s.
He wouldn't quite have burned it.
I had been counting, and I decided not to mention it.
No, he wouldn't quite have burned it.
Yeah.
But
as it happens, he'd have got away with it.
I think it would have been. The MC Tech or one of the cards next to the MC Tech. Anyway, it wasn't going to quite be as.
Only 3 cards left in his deck, by the way. That's one quick. Turns out that. Yeah, that's gone really rather fast.
So how are you going to deal with 2 7/7s, Burr?
Carefully and quickly. Trying to recall his 3 cards. That's what he's doing when he's writing a lot, I think.
One's a Moonfire.
Yep.
Death is eternal.
Pass.
My turn.
I think one's a swipe.
I think so as well.
Quick look at the list. It's not Stone Tusk Ball, Neil. That's the wrong deck.
It's definitely not Stone Tusk Ball.
He hasn't played one yet.
No, that's true. He hasn't.
Might be the second Ferocious Howl? Or Nourish?
I was going to say, I don't think he's played a Nourish yet. Yeah.
So not a lot left in there. But it's the stuff that he needs.
This curse has become
and
our greatest threat.
Tyler going super wide here. Oof.
12 damage available for Burr right now with the Malygos Double Moonfire. 12 does not equal 14.
No, not even in caster speak. What's the best way to clear these 2 taunts? You've got to get 2 damage from somewhere.
Does he have to clear them? Can he not just go?
Can he ever get the other 2 damage done if he doesn't?
Well, he's got an ultimate infestation in his hand.
He has. It's a good card.
So he could go Malagos Moon. This is risky.
Tyler has a lot of healing in the deck and he's drawn a lot of cards.
Right. This relies on Tyler not having any healing. He's used a Shroom Brew already. He's used a Spellstone already.
What?
He's going to fluke next turn, I guess. He's going to just say...
Yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah.
He trades or he goes face. I think we established there may be a swipe left in Burr's deck.
I think there is.
And if there is, then he can go floop, which is Malagos, swipe Moonfire for lethal. Which is even better. This is much better than what I said. If there is a swipe still left, which there must be if he's making this play.
And he needs an next turn, which obviously is a thing, because he's taking 24. Wow. Interesting that Tyler choosing not to just silence that and move on with his life. Because if you silence the fluked one, then...
That's lethal!
That is the swipe, and Burr... He looked at the skies before he made his last play, and he gets the reward he was looking for. 1-0 up here against Tyler. Quite close there, though, to going wrong.
Oh, boy. Tyler even getting the Spellstone there, getting that last little bit of healing off. It wasn't quite enough. And Tyler knew as well. I don't know if you caught the look on Tyler's face as soon as that flip went down, but Tyler sort of raised his hand up in the air like he was counting for a second, and then just rolled his eyes.
Yeah.
Yep, okay. So it's 1-0. Burr taking a swift lead with Malagos Druid. Tyler needs to find the counter. Will it be Malagos Druid or will it be Shadowwalk Shaman?
What do you think? He says passing it quickly while he looks through the deck lists.
Shadowwalk Shaman doesn't feel great in that matchup.
It really doesn't. I think it's got worse and worse.
So I
Take
wouldn't be
50-50?
surprised if he just goes for the mirror, takes the 50-50.
In fact, Tyler's probably slightly favoured in the mirror because of how much he would have jammed this on ladder.
he likes good decks.
I want to reiterate, Burr has practiced incredibly hard for this event, but Tyler is, like you say, he plays a good deck.
And Tyler's like inhuman, the amount that he has been known to play Hearthstone in the past. The amount of 24-hour streams that he did back in his days of grinding.
Yeah.
The amount of times he'd stream for 12 hours and then just say, actually, I'm feeling fine, I'll go for another 4. And then that 4 becomes 8, and suddenly it's been another 24-hour stream.
Yeah. And still at incredibly high level. His level does drop after like 10 hours, but oddly enough, but not by much. 10-hour Tyler is still much better than me. Sounds like an energy drink.
10-hour Tyler.
10-hour Tyler. Available now.
Available at DreamHacks near you.
Okay, so the wild growth from Burr. No messing around. Yeah, Tyler's happy to do the well played, but Burr's not messing around with the
Oh, look at that top deck as well.
And this is what I was saying about Tyler being more relaxed. Is that he's not like acting the clown. He's just so much more relaxed than he used to be. And Burr is sort of very focused because it's his first massive game.
Yeah. Tyler looks guilty even at making it. That's the look on his face right now. It's guilt. It's, oh, this win is being handed to me right now. I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah, I don't think he meant to BM. I think he meant to say well done and then drew the wild growth into Nourish, which was already there. And suddenly it looks like a BM. I don't think he meant to BM. So now he's feeling a bit embarrassed about that as well, if I got the timing right there.
It's like there's different levels of pro players in terms of their reaction, how they are on camera.
Yeah.
Like you get the super stoic, focused best players, some of the best players in the world. The Saiyans, I guess.
The thing is, Saiyan is like that. It's not like he doesn't take his personality onto the stage. He is very deadpan. That's how he is.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is very much like that. Boston's another one.
Yep.
And Yala.
But Tyler goes on. He's himself.
Yeah. These days, he never used to be. He used to be a bit too focused, a bit too intense. And that's not how Tyler is. That's not how you do a 15-hour stream. That's not his natural state.
I wonder if after thousands and thousands of hours streaming, I wonder if in his head he's streaming.
I mean, you can answer that. You've done thousands and thousands of hours streaming, and you've played big tournaments, the biggest tournaments.
I haven't done nearly as many hours streaming as Tyler.
But you've mentioned before to me that you do sit in that chair and sort of you're almost talking out loud if you're not careful because you were so used to it when you streamed back when you did stream a lot.
No, you're right. That is certainly something to consider. It's maybe an added difficulty for streamers going into tournaments to sort of adjust their thinking.
They definitely give more away emotionally than regular players. I do it too. I mean, I used to stream a reasonable amount and play some tournaments, and I'd be very vocal about what I thought about things.
Yep.
Burr's still keeping up to some extent here. I mean, Tyler's hand doesn't have UI, is basically what I'm trying to say here. The quick version is he doesn't have UI. It's an incredibly good hand, but there's no infestation in it. And Burr's Florist is rather better than Tyler's. I would be quite happy to say. The whole flower shop is here.
I think it's worth pointing out a couple of the differences between these decks for the time being. As we can see, Tyler is running a Faceless Manipulator in his deck, which hasn't been that popular, at least over the course of this tournament in Malygos Druid.
It seems like he's got that instead of the Innovate,
yes,
maybe?
Which in the mirror, I would expect to be slightly better. It means that he can more consistently get large chunks of burst damage out.
Yeah, and there's so many good things you can Faceless. Plus your opponent doesn't get that sort of drop my Malygos when you've used your Naturalizers, lol, I'm going to beat you, when you have a 0 mana Faceless Manipulator. But he just wants 2 Lich Kings. He's counted how many cards he's got in his hand, it's fine.
I mean, that's one of the beauties of Faceless Manipulator. Innovate is, you could argue, more flexible.
Oh.
But Faceless Manipulator is very flexible too.
Forget how this deck ever normally wins.
Anti-Magic Show is not bad here.
Is Anti-Magic Show and Branching Paths? What? You better have a Spreading Plague.
What does Burro even do about this? Because if he casts Spreading Plague, he can't deal... Well, no, he can deal with the Florist, but he has to naturalize it.
He can Malygos and swipe face. That is a huge blow if he has to do that, but it deals with everything.
No, he'd have to swipe one of the Lich Kings and trade into the other one.
Okay, sure. I mean, he could naturalize one. But yeah, your play's better.
Sure.
You swipe a Lich King, obviously. It takes so much damage output away from you.
But that's it. There's no floop in hand right now. It's the last Malygos available to Burr.
Yeah. But also, that was incredible by Tyler. I mean, there's a very strong chance that play won him the game. Yeah. Even though he's currently behind on board and he has a few issues to deal with.
He just naturalizes away the issue.
Yeah. Burr now has to go back to the can I gain 1,000,000 armor before you get your beating me stick. And Tyler is likely to win because of that play.
There must be a temptation to DreamHack here because he doesn't want to give Burr more resources. However, if Tyler discards the Malygos with the DreamHack, that's a disaster. Yeah, he goes with the safer play.
Yeah, Burr doesn't have much left to do in his deck either, so it's not like you're going to give him a next turn lethal.
But like DreamHack into Arcane Tyrant without drawing Burr more cards, it must have at least been a consideration.
Yeah, for sure. I just feel that he feels that he probably never loses this game if he doesn't walk into, Gunspire.
I don't even want to know how that could happen in this.
It probably can somehow. I don't know if it's possible. Everything seems to be possible these days, one way or another, if you work it out hard enough. So Burr is down really to... I mean, he still has the opportunity to draw UI first, the way the board is. That might be okay for him. He does have Malfurion, so at least he's not going to get killed by the opposing Malfurion. But, I mean, it doesn't look like he can win. Maybe he can set up some sort of branching path lethal later. Yeah, he's not messing around. He realises that he's probably losing, so he's just going straight for as much tempo as he can gain here. Nothing really to set up for. That doesn't help. He's going to cycle the Wild Growth and just try and find something to do.
It's a handful of gubbins.
I don't know. I'll give you all my best tricks. But it is a load of gubbins. I think that is very well used. Well, he can cast his hand the next turn.
Okay. Tyler gets his Spreading Plague. He can go Spreading Plague, Anti-Magic Shell.
And this is where the streamer thing came in there for Tyler. It doesn't really matter because Burr wasn't looking, but they are facing each other, and Tyler just gave the whole, whoa, look at this draw. And he wasn't, he's gone a little bit too relaxed on. He's actually giving things away, but it's not going to matter.
Definitely a disadvantage. I wonder if he's been doing this while not on stream as well. Just face to face with his opponent.
I think a lot of the players are just making a conscious effort not to be quite so sort of straight-faced. Yeah, Burr does not want to see any more of that nonsense. Maybe he will now.
Maybe that was the one draw in the deck that's prevented that concede button.
How do you about this? So you can kill one of the things, one of the 3/7s.
My thoughts are plagued.
This has been such a great tournament.
It really has, for multiple reasons. Even though I would argue the meta has not been that exciting, everything else about the tournament has been fantastic.
Yeah.
It's been a really good tournament. A lot of the players we've wanted to see win, especially those of us who follow the tour all year.
Yeah.
There's a lot of players here who we know deserve to win and still going strong. I mean, Faley and Boston are both still in. They're two people I think everybody wouldn't begrudge a win, and Tyler, of course.
Yeah, all three of them.
But the players have put on a show as well, and there's been just some things out of the players' control and out of our control. Just the crazy Gunspire play that we keep on about, but multiple things like the Zigzo accident on day one.
Poor Tyler, poor Zigzo. Tyler deserves to win this tournament because we are going to be mocking him for that, regardless.
I think he got more coverage on social media out of that mistake than all the good things he's done with going to World Championships. Seems to always be the way.
So an MC Tech here would just destroy one of Tyler's minions. It wouldn't actually steal it. There won't be space on the board. It might still be worth it. Oh, wow. Okay, going to spot on his own minion to make room.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, given a minute ago he was going to press the end game button.
And not the good end game, the bad button, the bad end game button.
Tyler's
branching pass looks good, doesn't it?
It does. I think the reason he's pausing just for a moment and pulling an incredibly weird face is just the prospect that this is a little tiny bit all in. I mean, it's going to win him the game, so it's fine. But the brief pause was this is sort of, his hand is actually nothing now.
Using one is, I mean, gaining one attack is fine though. Gets to draw a card. Like you said, that sort of mitigates that hand being nothing problem. Swipes his face, swipes the 3/3.
Yeah, he's basically cycled the swipe.
Yeah.
Which is a very nice spot, actually. Wasn't immediately obvious not to just boost them by 2.
No.
And that lowers the all-inness of it a little bit.
He's taking branching paths again next turn. For even more attack.
I mean, if any of this stuff's there next turn, he's in, Burr's in a world of trouble anyway.
The game is still going on next turn. I'll be surprised.
That's all I mean. That's why I think it's all in, but it's a correct all in. If it's going on next turn, something incredibly sad has happened for Tyler. And you know when a turn's weird because Tyler uses all his time.
Yeah.
Well, everyone leans forward to have a quick look at the swipe. Only target his face.
Does deal with the Scarab on the left though, with only 1 health.
So that's how you start the turn every time, and he agrees. Take one down with your face. Obviously, these are all untargetable because of that really annoying Death Rattle card. Death Knight card.
Tyler's huge advantage that he had on the board has actually been mostly dealt with now. The weapon plus for hero power does deal with the Tyrant, which is very strong indeed. He's still pushing 8 through to the face, which does put Burr on a clock.
And Burr with a hand only a mother could love.
If not for the anti-magic shell, then this hand would deal with Tyler's board.
We get the volcano done.
We do get the volcano. Do you even know how to sequence the volcano?
I learned it very briefly for like one day and I've forgotten again.
Okay.
Which is really sad.
I'm impressed you learned it to begin with.
It was only after you asked me that same question in HGG and I didn't know the answer.
Like a year and a half ago.
Yeah. I'm like, I need to know this now. What I don't know is how to make the water run continually on the Pandaria.
I don't know that either.
I can rest now.
I feel you used to do it on stream on purpose. And I've never worked it. I did it once by accident. I could never do it again.
Either way, Tyler ties up the series.
Oh yeah, that game was still going on.
Yeah, well, it wasn't really.
It really wasn't. That's why I was going on.
And evens up the score. It's now down to Burr to counterpick this Malagos Druid. He can choose between his Hunter and his Paladin, which I think we said was even Paladin, didn't we?
Yeah, and you'd think he'd go for the Hunter here, but we'll see. Even Paladin is absolutely fine as well.
Yeah, either of his decks seem okay placed against Malagos Druid. Malagos Druid can just do its thing and win the game regardless.
But, yeah, I was just getting there too slowly, unfortunately. The Malagos Druid's much better against the Shaman, should it come to that. So the tiebreaker is, what do I do next? And you don't want to lose your Malagos in the same chance as your Paladin, basically.
True that.
Sorry, I just said silly words that made no sense.
And I agree with them.
Yeah.
So who's the real idiot here, Lorinda?
The word Hunter. The fool or the fool who follows him? But just reinsert Hunter with everything we said there, and it all makes a lot more sense. This is obviously the right pick. Okay, so this is a debatable matchup. We have seen Boston win it twice and lose it once in the space of 2 matches.
Okay.
Because he just blew one of them having won it at the same game.
That was a strange game.
Spoke to him about it this morning. He pinpointed the 2 turns where it started to slip away. So he went back over it and found it, because he got control of the game. But there was a spot where he could have set up a lethal, I think, and he chose not to, thinking he would be safe, and then the Paladin just keeps doing this thing.
We've seen that a few times in this tournament, actually. Players just not setting up for lethals and then being punished for it.
I think one thing that players have got to start being careful of, everyone has realised that it's good to use your time. Very good to use all your clock.
Yep.
But they've started using their clock and then spotting something else too late in their turn that matters. So prioritising how they use their clock is a thing. They're getting to the point where I think I should Malagos and set up a lethal, but I can't guarantee it. A bit like game 1 here, with Burr having that same sort of option.
Right.
And they bail because they're low on time. So maybe the players they're doing better clock management, they're using it all, but maybe they need to go a bit further and actually prioritise the order in which they check things out.
Okay, I'm as confused as Tyler is here. I expected the Glass Knight to come down this turn, but instead he played the Spellbreaker, silenced his own Silverhand recruit. And Tyler's visibly very surprised about that.
I think Burr was giving himself 1 extra turn to try and pick up maybe a true silver.
Okay.
Glass Knight's a better target for Blessing of Kings as well, so give himself an extra turn for that. He feels he doesn't need 2 Spellbreakers over the course of the game.
Maybe he wanted Tyler to use a Spellstone on it?
Also, well, if you play Glass Knight first, what's your second 4-drop? You have to Spellbreaker
right.
your own Glass Knight.
Okay, yep, no, that makes sense.
So, that seems reasonable.
Yeah, I guess there's nothing really that you want to silence the Malagos Druid apart from maybe Malagos itself, but the Paladin can probably just kill the Malagos the turn after it gets played. There's an ooze, though. Once again, it's the other way around this time. It's Burr picking up the ooze to deal with Tyler's Twig. It's not going to come down just yet.
And he's in the same boat he was in 2 turns ago, which is he doesn't want to Spellbreaker his own 4/3.
Yeah, he can just Hero Power Spellbreaker that again if he wanted to.
Exactly, but... And I think he needs to put the pressure on here. The trouble is with the hero power bit is you're playing into spreading Plague a lot worse.
True.
So it's no fun. Now Tyler actually understands the reveal of why things happened at least. And if he doesn't, he shouldn't trouble himself with it.
It's still a weird sequence of turns.
Yeah, from the other side of the board, I don't think you'd be able to work it out without ruining your turn. You can definitely do it, but you've actually got to plan your turn at the same time, so maybe that'd be a bit too much to worry about.
Okay, taking a 50-50 here with and messing up the 50-50 as well.
And he's giving it away again. Burr's not looking. If he was looking at Tyler in this game, he'd probably just know everything that was happening.
Tyler needs to watch that if he does win this series and end up against his next opponent.
Yeah, because
no doubt they'll be paying attention.
They'll be watching this stream.
Right.
For instance, they know that Tyler's doing this. I think it's Faley as well. Faley's smart when it comes to that stuff. I've seen Faley sneak a look over a monitor many times.
I've seen Pavel do it once or twice.
Pavel used to do it deliberately to unsettle you. I've seen Faley just take a sneaky peek. Partly because I don't think he likes looking at the screen when it's not his turn. He likes to think about his turn by looking at walls and things.
So, Tyler has a 0-mana Arcane Tyrant without having to cast a 5-mana spell.
Well
So,
done, Tyler.
That's good.
That's advantageous.
It's not going to win him the game. It's a 50-50 that might even lose him the whole series, honestly.
But, I mean, he hadn't got very good ways of dealing with stuff. We've seen the whole thing that Boston's doing all tournament of not using Naturalize until you have to. That's what Tyler's just done here. But it's got to the point where he had to, and it's a big win for the Paladin. We've seen how when you have to Naturalize something, the Paladin is... It seems to be a close enough matchup, but those two cards are huge for whatever reason.
Even revealing the Arcane Tyrant to Burro. So if Burro's paying attention, he knows that he's safe from any 2-mana Malygos.
Yeah.
Or 2-mana Alexstrasza's.
I said yeah like that because I think Burr is not struggling, but I think he's using his time for his own plays very, very strongly here because he's being careful, and maybe he'll miss things like that in this situation. I'm not saying he would miss it.
You think it's possible?
Yeah. But he's taking notes very actively, so maybe he would have noted that down.
Gonna go ahead and get rid of that twig, though. No 20-mana turns for you, Tyler.
Yeah, and this is a difficult time for him if he can't pick up that Spreading Plague, which we've seen ruin so many people's DreamHack. Spreading Plague seems to have been the thing that has just been absolutely desperate off the top so many times. UI, is it second prize? Is it good enough?
It would be great if this was a 20-mana turn, which it...
Nearly was.
Yeah.
So much damage. Not quite enough, but very, very close. 13 available of the 19 he needs.
He's got to consider playing this Tyrant. He needs to consider holding it back and playing it to floop out the Malygos later.
He needs to not die as well, though. Like you say, he needs to consider playing it, because if he doesn't challenge this board, bad things are going to happen. He's got to work out if he thinks his Malfurion's enough. Nope.
Got to do it. Tyler's all but given up on the combo this game. He's just trying to stay alive against this onslaught, which, as we can see from Burr's hand, isn't going away anytime soon.
Yeah, this Tyrion seems to just be gigantic right now.
Tyrion's been in around half of the even Paladin decks that we've seen over the course of the weekend.
Yep, but these are the games where you want it, where it becomes a resource battle. The games you don't want it are where they're playing Quest Rogue and you're dead.
I feel like the Paladin usually, the even Paladin usually does just run out of resources eventually, but
eventually is a long time in this matchup. We saw it with Boston. One misplay from the Druid, even if it's close, and the Paladin just chugs along relentlessly and annoyingly. A bit like me now.
So just your life, chugging on endlessly and annoyingly.
Pretty much. So they say in the trade.
Double swipe isn't looking bad this turn.
Faceless looks all right.
Facelessing the Tyrion? Yeah. I'd buy it.
But this Equality Consecration is looking very good the other way. Yeah, Tyler needs to kill more than just facelessing a Tyrion.
If he double swipes, what are his targets? So he swipes the Glass Knight, swipes Marnie, trades the Ghoul into Tyrion. That's a clear board, but it gives Burr the Ashbringer, leaves Tyler on 10 health.
How many Avenging Wraths I'm just finding out now? by looking at Tyler's decks.
Nah, it's not going to get very far.
No, it's not. Help me turn pages down.
Yeah,
of course it's the last one.
Good.
One Avenging Wrath in the deck. And the old Equality Avenging Wrath thing does a lot of damage. And Tyler's elected to mainly go for board here. Mossy Horror's kind of tasty, but it's not amazing.
One off lethal. Wait, no, it is just... Oh, sorry, there's taunts in the way. Ignore me.
There is stuff in the way.
I was just counting damage there.
I can see 17, though. Hang on.
Let me think.
Equality Consecration.
Just can't quite fit in the True Silver. True Silver would be lethal if he could
Yeah.
play that as well. So yeah, 1 mana off lethal. But can easily set it up for next turn. It's going to be hard for Tyler to prevent this.
He won't have a board, but he will have a swipe that deals with the 1 health minions and a swipe that deals with the Divine Shield.
Then Burr will have an Ashbringer.
They can armor up. I'm not saying this is fun for Tyler, but there's ways.
I guess Tyler could just faceless swipe Spellstone. Faceless swipe Spellstone. Faceless is the Tyrion, so he gets the Divine Shield, swipes the face, Spellstone's the Tyrion, and then he has something protecting him.
Seems good. Well, does it seem good? It doesn't seem good.
It doesn't seem good. Nothing seems
He
good.
actually dies if he does that, right? No, he doesn't. I'm going insane.
He's got the Taunt Divine Shield if he does that.
He's fine.
It doesn't look good, but it does highlight how good Faceless is in the deck, how flexible it is.
I think if you could see Burr's hand, he would think that was a great play. We can see the hand, and it definitely would work nicely. The trouble is from where Tyler sat, he's worried about Avenging Wrath, he's worried about a lot of other things.
Going to go with the Spreading Plague instead.
So this makes a lot more sense, and he's going to be in a lot of trouble. And by a lot of trouble, I think I mean dead, depending what Tyler does here. Yeah, Mossy Horror, he can't get it out of his hand quick enough. Burr is going to take a 2-1 lead.
And Avenging Wrath would have been lethal regardless if Tyler made the play that I've described. So Tyler was dead. Dead. He only has Shudderwock Shaman left to defend himself against Burr with his Even Paladin and his Death Rattle Hunter, who finds himself 1 game away from the DreamHack Winter semi-finals.
Yeah, and that look was that look of I'm 1 game away from the semi-finals. We've seen it so many times from players in this position who haven't been there before.
Felt like Tyler was staring into my soul then.
Yeah, because you picked him. You cursed him.
So did Twitch chat.
I wouldn't do that to my friends. I'm in so much trouble. Sorry. Right, so Burr, different course of action this time to some degree. He's going to have to be a bit quicker than he was before. Shudderwock should be okay here.
Yeah.
Because this deck is really good against the mid-range decks in general, but it does sort of shamble along.
I'm not honestly all that familiar with current Even Paladin versus Shudderwock Shaman as a matchup.
Yeah, the Shudderwock gets enough time to get its big removal spells. Like, the odd Paladin can get through the bottom of it all.
Tyler's like, yep, Kaliseth, yep, nodding head. Okay, all right.
Let's go, Prince K.
Truth is found.
He's happy.
To Kangor or not to Kangor?
I thought you were going to say and beyond.
If he plays it. To Kangor and beyond!
Thank you. That's what I thought you were going to go with that, Dan.
Well, I didn't know if he was going to play it.
So you were waiting and teeing it up. You've seen how slow he's playing? But no. Seems reasonable. The Kangor thing's always weird. It's not so weird against slower decks, but you often don't want to play it on 2 because you're still on 30 health, but it fits the curve so nicely.
It's so good against aggressive decks with cards like Spike Rich Steed and Blessing of Kings. It's just so much heal.
Wouldn't it be nice, Dan, if you could silence Kaliseth and all the cards of the deck go back down?
I thought you were going to go somewhere completely different with that, but yes.
Never know where I'm headed, man.
That would be nice.
So with the double Corpse Taker, this is one where we have seen Paladin get through Shudderwock already. It gets through a lot of things. Corpse Taker is the card that makes this deck function. It buys you a few % just by being there on turns 3 and 4. And having 2 of them, it's good because having one of them is hard to deal with. Having 2 of them often it just leaves your opponent completely exposed.
Not so great when the Wind Fury Harpy's been drawn.
Yeah, and I was going to say, if you're me, you then draw the Wind Fury Harpy between the first and the second one, and you have this 3/3 taunt thing.
Right.
Your magic shall not be
Silencing Mana-Tide Totems, though, especially ones buffed up by Kelleser, has this great benefit of just messing up the opponent's Volcano.
Yeah, it's 6 extra health that you've got on your side. If you can get over that 15, which you can do so much more easily, you're defending your own minions. Volcano here, though, does still allow Hex next turn, so... But the next turns for Burr are insane. Next turn is probably Corpse Taker, followed by Dude, Spike Witch Steed, followed by Lich King, versus a Hex. Choose wisely, Tyler, on the Hex. And all of these are massive threats over the next 3 turns. Tyler does have the Hemet if he wants to speed it up. Don't think you'll do it just yet.
Do you do that against even Paladin?
Maybe with one, you've got your Hex, you'll get the other one. You've used...
The thing that always bugs me about playing Hemet in Shudderwock Shaman, almost regardless of matchup, is losing Glacial Shards. I feel like Glacial Shard is so strong with Shudderwock.
Yeah, you need it to play your Shudderwock, right?
Yeah.
Because against these heavy mid-range minion decks, I don't know what to call this in terms of speed, just freezing them over and over again protects your Shudderwock, allows you to do things so much more easily. Yeah, you are right.
I'm not saying I wish Glacial Shard cost 4. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I wouldn't play that card.
Let's nerf Dr. Boom so he's a 6/7.
We're not suddenly putting Frost Elemental into the deck.
Yeah, let's not do that either, because that would be really messy and involve some bugs. I think Tyler here is being deliberately greedy with the Hex. He's like, come on then, hit me with your buffed Corpse Taker and I'll Hex it. And Burr's saying, tell you what, I'll buff something else, Hex these 2 things and see how you like it. And this is where Burr's hours of practice come in. The instinct is just to put that on the wrong minion.
Yeah.
But that will just be... We use the term muscle memory, which is a little bit sort of wrong, but repetition memory allows you to make those plays instinctively without having to waste too much time.
As now the second Volcano has been played, and that's a lot of information for Burr now, knowing that he's free to just go as big and fat on the board as he likes.
The Shard has arrived.
The Shard has arrived. Shard's there. Shard's got Grumble next to it. It can be bouncing. It can be freezing that Lich King. I think all of the key cards have been drawn except maybe Saronite. So
he doesn't need to play Hemet anyway.
He doesn't need to deal with the Lich King.
And here you go. This is the validation of what you were saying earlier. It's Tyler making another Glacial Shard to protect the Shudderwock with.
Like, Tyler would usually be afraid of Death Grip, but because he's drawn most of the key cards, he's not afraid of Death Grip. He's not going to be losing Shudderwock to that. Not this game. And no demonic projects in the Paladin, thankfully.
Yeah, everything's in his hand. Of course, Burr doesn't know that. He probably can't divine it, although having seen the last turn, he might realise that it's coming soon to a movie theatre near you.
I wonder if Shudderwock would ever have been playable if Dirty Rat was still in Standard.
Yep. You just have to play more minions.
Sure.
Actually, you might play something... Yeah, you just play more minions. I don't know which minions. Still playing around Mind Control tech?
Yep.
No Haggard has been played, which means the Death and Decay is pretty rubbish for killing off 6/3 Shudderwocks, because they're not going to be 6/3 Shudderwocks. And now Tyler has to work out how long he thinks he's got compared to what percentage he wants to not fail. Because Equality Consecration means a wall of Shudderwocks is not good enough.
I wasn't sure if the Hex was necessary on the Lich King there, but he has to be a little bit afraid of cards like Anti-Magic Shell. Like, although Death Grip isn't a problem anymore, like Anti-Magic Shell would be game-breaking.
Lich King cards on their own are usually pretty mediocre.
Yeah.
2 of them tends to be really hard to beat.
Yeah.
A double Death and Decay would just be insane. Yeah, anti-magic shell, insane.
He needs Saronite now, though, Tyler. Tyler needs Saronite. Maybe that's what he's trying to save the Grumble for. There must be a temptation to go Shard, Grumble, Shard at some point.
Yep.
That's the totem he wanted, though.
One thing I know for sure, having watched Boston do it, though, is you do not beat even Paladin by trying to kill their minions every turn. You do have to do that to buy the time, but eventually even Paladin just plays more minions and you have ways of stopping it.
Yep.
So Tyler does need to pace this fairly sensibly.
Including the Stegodon and imagining there's no mana limit, Burro has 13 damage. 14 damage even. But both Consecrations, Death and Decay, Weapon, Stegodon, so
he can do that over a couple of turns.
Yes.
That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, he can. The minions will be repetitive damage, so...
Oh. The first time going to 4 minions.
It doesn't matter too much. Though,
Exactly.
Does it? If there is an MC tech, it's not doing much.
Yeah, that's how he sees it. Agatha played, so now Death and Decay becomes a much stronger card.
Yep.
If Tyler has an accident with his Shudderwocks.
Yep.
Would wipe out a whole fleet of Shudderwocks.
He's gone with like the opposite strategy to the Hemet strategy. Maybe he wants a Healing Rain, specifically. Maybe he's decided he can just outvalue this Paladin and just get better stuff because... Or he can make better turns because he will have more options than the Paladin will have, as the Paladin has now reached that point in the game where his hand is getting a little bit dry.
I think he feels that he can go for Shudderwock whenever he wants. He's going to have a turn or two's notice because he had such a good removal hand, or at least stalling hand. Feral Spirits is reasonably nice unless he's in a hurry.
Tyler still needs to draw Saronite, and Saronite only costs 4 to play, so he doesn't mind overloading himself at the moment.
Yeah, it seems reasonable. He's trying not to put too much stuff on the board at once just because of the opposing Equality Consecration, but I don't think Burr plays that anyway.
Wow, Volcano is a good card to have.
So is Tyrion. It's not good enough though, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think both shards... No, both shards aren't gone. He Zola'd one and then grumbled it, so he still has a shard in the deck somewhere.
Equality Consecration here, though, is something that I think Tyler wouldn't mind seeing because it protects his Shudderwocks.
Yeah.
But he's played Hagatha and Death and Decay's in hand.
Yeah.
And so actually, Burr doesn't mind actually doing this.
Tyler doesn't have the mana to play Shudderwock this turn anyway.
I mean, he's still looking for
Oh, he does,
chain guns
sorry. He's
as
only
well, right?
overloaded for 1. That's my bad. Ice Fishing is useless.
Burr writing down all the battle cries.
Yeah. Gonna just cast that to get rid of it. Oh no, he's not.
What's wrong?
I am surprised he didn't cast the Ice Fishing just to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Maybe he wants Burr to think it's something that it's not. He wants Burr to feel like he has to play around more cards.
That's fair.
But I don't know. If Tyler runs into hand size issues and doesn't have the time to cast that Ice Fishing, he's
Maybe if he runs
that.
into a 3/8 Murloc that does 3 damage every time it takes a point from a Volcano, he can kill it with the Ice Fishing.
It's not how...
Or maybe he can fetch a 3/8 Murloc that does that.
Yes.
Sorry, it's that one.
Let's go with that. That's the Saronite, though.
Yeah, now the game changes and I can stop being silly.
But Tyler is afraid of that Mossy Horror going face, so he's just going to cast Volcano.
But he's going to be met by an equally annoying one-of in Tyrion.
And a secret added to the hand as well. Oh, Burr could do with card draw, but I don't know if he'd have a chance to play the cards he draws from them.
I mean, he only has one Avenging Wrath that he's looking for. If he gets to draw this, it's because Tyler's done his second lot of Shudderwocks. Or gone looking for Murlocs.
But here we go. This is the setup. Burr can clear it.
I don't think he wants to use this Death and Decay. I think that is so valuable to him if the Shudderwock has accidents. Even if it's not a full accident.
And we're only talking one Saronite. We're talking one Saronite, one Zola, one Grumble. So the chance of it actually doing what it's supposed to do is 1 in 3.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
For the Grumble specifically.
For the accident, yeah.
Zola could also go off. That's another 1 in 3, and then the accident is another 1 in 3. So it's...
Yeah. Tyler's all the way back up to 27. He's not facing down an imminent beating.
Maybe he doesn't have to play Shadow Walk then.
Yeah, I think he's going to stall as long as he can.
Maybe
1 in 3 is not the odds you want after winning a game as convincingly as this.
The benefit to playing the Shadow Walk, wow, that's good for the Sarah Knight. The benefit for playing the Shadow Walk would have been that he freezes most of Burro's board.
Yeah.
But this now, hitting the Sarah Knight...
And having the mana left over.
Yeah, that's really good. Suddenly, Tyler's accident potential is much lower.
Really enjoyed watching Burr play, actually. Obviously, when he was saying that all the practice I put in, yada yada, you never know which way to take that. Well, there goes the Death and Decay. And so I'll stop saying what I was about to say.
He's going to play everything now. He'll play his Silver. He'll go face with it.
Because he seemed very composed and very focused on exactly how he wants to use his cards.
Right.
And when you practice a lot, you have that feeling. Even I've been to tournaments where I've done okay, where I'd practiced like crazy beforehand and felt so much more confident because I knew exactly what I was doing. Then I started casting and now I don't know.
So the MC Tech goes into the Tyrion just to get it out of the way. Also gets the Tyrion out of the way, replaces the True Silver with Ashbringer. It doesn't matter too much. Redemption does its job.
Yeah. It really does.
Oh, is Healing Rain ever any good this turn? No, I don't think so. He has to Shadow Walk. He needs good freezes here. Oh, no!
Freezes the Tyrion.
Okay.
But
Okay, he gets the 9-mana Shadow Walk back in his hand. It's not a complete disaster. And it's a pretty good board that Tyler has ended up with.
yeah, and I did mess up earlier when saying about the Death and Decay because I forgot the KLSF buff.
Yeah.
That's fine.
There we go!
That gives it up. We go to 2 games apiece, but now the more testy one for Tyler.
A more testy one? The Death Rattle Hunter. Yeah, I mean, Shadow Walk Shaman has pretty good tools against this deck.
Yep.
In the forms of Earth Shocks and Hexes specifically. Glacial Shard is also key in this matchup. This could go either way, Lorenzo.
Yeah, it's a very close one for me. And Burge has got to shake it off. I say that a lot, but obviously we've seen quite a few strongly competitive players, which is what Burr is, get into these situations. There's some stuff on both sides.
Tyler kept the Hemet. We didn't even see what his other cards were, but he kept that Hemet.
Burr's hand looks decent as well. You want to get that early pressure in, eggs are fine. Not even saving with Candle Shot, it's just like, I want egg things.
Oh, that's a hand.
Yeah, that is a hand indeed. KLSF always make the point it is just better than you think it is in this deck. Well, there's the curve sorted out. No way of activating the egg is the one downside, but there's plenty of ways that he'll find those. They will appear. And Tyler's hand actually, although it's fast to get to Shudderwockville, is not very reactive at all. He's not able to really dominate the board, and he's not able to kill many things, and those two things are not good for Tyler.
Speak to me.
Even though Rexar looks amazing here, there's a strong chance it doesn't get played because Burr might want to keep the hero power. It may just turn into a I'm going to kill you because I know I haven't got the time to kill you the Rexar when he sees the Hemet. And pressing that button can keep the pressure on sometimes. You know what's coming, Tyler.
Yeah, Burr not wasting any time with that. Not even playing the Kaliseth on turn 2.
No, I mean, he's walking into Hex if he's not careful. Yeah. So just get on with it.
It's going to get... The 5/5 is going to get frozen. The 3/3 is going to get traded into. So Tyler, he has some time. And he did get the Glacial Shard early, which means he can afford to hem it on 6 while still retaining the fact that Battlecry is in the Battlecry pool.
Hex is here,
Oh, Hex is...
but it's too late, I feel.
Hex is tempting.
Yeah.
But I wasn't even sure which target we were hexing if we were
He's just going to trust that there aren't 2 activators. He's trusting correctly. But, you know, do you have another one for my Houndmaster Shaw? The only problem with Houndmaster Shaw is it's almost forcing you to play into MC Tech, because on his own he's not that attacking. I think you do it. But the frog sitting around for mind control techs is really annoying. Unless he gets stolen, then it's great. Burr rating immediate tempo so much higher than the long-term Kelesef, because he knows the games he wins are the ones that aren't that long-term.
Now, the problem with this play is that freezing Houndmaster Shaw doesn't actually get you very far.
Burr can clear. It's not a very exciting clear, and he might not even choose to do it, but it's a clear. He can also cube the egg.
I think it's an exciting clear. Keleseth into the Taunt Totem and the Spider Bomb rushing straight into one of the 2-attack minions.
That was the clear I had in mind, but...
Just to be clear.
Yeah, should have made that more clear. But this is just a better play. Look at the state of this board now. Tyler finds the second Hex, and I think he needed that, honestly.
He wants to hem it, though. He's going to hem it. This game is racing to its conclusion. Ooh.
Oh, my goodness. Here comes Cube-tastic time. And there is so much here that Burr has to consider, because he can make an absolutely monstrous board.
The cube only has eggs in it, right?
Oh, does it?
I think so.
Okay. So it's not Cube-tastic time. You're right, it only has eggs in it.
He can Terrascale one of the eggs.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Turns out the rush is pretty good.
Oh, man. Tyler looks like he's fully aware what his position is right now.
And there were some, we sometimes laugh about the rounds of applause from out in the arena coming from other games, but I think that one was from Burr fans there.
I think so too.
It sounded very much like a Burr cheer when he made that wide board.
So let's see, what can Tyler do here? He can play Saronite now, or he could Hex the Shore. Either one looks pretty bad here. Well, Saronite's a 3-4. I guess it's not as bad as I thought, actually.
Well,
the problem is, what's he do next?
Hunter's Mark Spider Bomb if he wants here for Burr for starters. There's some...
If those Saronites are 2-attack, this game would be over.
Mossy Horror just deals with his own eggs and makes big things.
And they've got Rush!
Has to make space if he's going to do that. Doesn't even need to do that. The Spider Bomb play is just better, right? He's just making sure how much more taunt there is he's going to have to get through, and does he have 2-turn lethal? And the answer to that is not much, and yes.
But if he just plays the Mossy Horror here, he pushes 16 to the face. Whilst cracking open the eggs and using those Devil Saws to rush into the Saronites.
I think the question is, when do you get to use this Spider Bomb and this Hunter's Mark in this game? It's going so quickly. Let's just use them for what they're for. Making space for my own eggs. Can't be bothered with that nonsense. Let's just hit you in the face. We don't need Rexar. We just need to hit you in the smork. And Tyler needs the draw of his life here, I think.
I don't even know what that draw is. Second Saronite. There's 16 damage on the board. Okay, well, Houndmaster Shaw being gone is huge.
Can you Mossy the eggs and just trade into the Saronites for them?
Not anymore, because Shaw was just hexed. That's why that hex was such a big deal. Last turn, that would have been great. This turn, I don't think Burr can quite kill Tyler. And next turn, Tyler can play Shudderwalk. I don't know if it's good enough, though.
It's going to make a massive board, but it's going to do very little damage. It's not like there's multiple life drinkers chilling in there.
No, the Glacial Shard would have to hit the Devil Saw to start with. Volcano!
Yeah, Tyler's just going, okay, I need to roll incredibly high.
That's going to be the series. Burr has lethal. He's going through to the semi-finals. My heart aches for Tyler, who once again has come so close, Lorinda, but not quite made it all the way.
Indeed, but he is going to get another chance at the World Championship. So I think he'll get over it in a hurry. Burr might not have that opportunity. He's going to have another chance here today at DreamHack Winter in the semi-finals. So it works out nicely for both of them in a way. Obviously, Tyler would love to take down a tour stop after the hard-working season he's had. But honestly, having had that brief conversation with Burr, it's like the work he's put into this event being rewarded, and with his team as well. So it's good for all three of those guys. As much as I always feel sad when Tyler is eliminated, I can handle this one. I'm sure Tyler can too.
I'm glad that my face wasn't on camera during that last game, because some of the facial expressions I was pulling, without even realizing it or without even being able to stop myself.
Run the blooper reel. No, we're not doing that.
It was a painful game to watch. The moment that shore came down, the moment all Tyler could do was freeze it, I think the game ended then. Tyler did a great job of trying to rush his minions out, trying to get to that shuttle up win condition, but he would have needed a very good volcano for that to work at the end though.
Yep, Burr getting the draw he needed, keeping his cool. I say that a lot. It's cards, people say. What do? You just have to put it on the table. There's no physical element. Your brain can just turn to mush if you don't keep it under control, especially when you've been 2-1 up. And he played that very methodically all the way, took his time, got the job done.
So our semi-finalists are now Boston, Pardub, Fieli, and my goodness, the game we just had, Burr. Sorry,
Burr 0.
I have just Burr 0, right?
And we still have what I would consider a dream final on the cards in Boston versus Fieli. The two of the guys who both deserved a tour stop win, neither had one. If that was the final, it'd be a sort of slightly lower version of sort of Saiyan versus Fino early in the year.
But Pardub and Burr have certainly proved themselves today.
Very much so.
Making it through some pretty fierce opponents. But we have our top 4 players here at DreamHack Winter. Coming up next is going to be Boston versus Pardub in the first semi-final. So don't go anywhere. More DreamHack Winter coming up very soon.